Hello, it's me again, der Bayer, and today we're building another race car. 2 episodes ago we had a Group C Junior project and it ran a turbocharged V8 engine, and yeah, I think it drove quite well, so let's assume it was quite successful. So Lorenzo Antonelli, now coming closer to retirement age, thought it is time to play with the big boys and move up one tier. Not Group C Junior or Group C2, but the real Group C or Group C1. And why is that possible? Because we have a V12 engine. It was released with the Boreale and is now spiced up a bit for the Nuvia. The Nuvia's engine is a road car engine, of course. We have not signed off the Nuvia project in the last episode yet because I wanted to add another trim to that engine family, and that would be a real Group C monster for the 32C that we had. It will have a different name because we run different capacity now, of course. But yeah, I wanted to do that and use the synergy between the two projects and sign them off at the same time. Hopefully with the Group C project ready to make it in time. Group C ran until the end of 1992, so we still have a bit of time to get it onto the racetracks. So let's head right in. We will use the old car as a base and create a new facelift. But before I do that, let's rename the overall project. I will just name it the Group C project. And then the old one was the 32C Junior, and this one will now be, if we stick with the 4-liter engine, the 40C. So first of all, I want to replace all of the fixtures with the version I had in Sandbox, because I reworked it slightly here and there to not scrape on the floor and stuff like that. So therefore we will delete all of our fixtures. Is there a shortcut? I can overwrite all fixtures, so let's just do that. I have a text file where I copied all fixtures and then paste fixtures overwrite. And there we go. Looks basically the same, but it might be different in 1 or 2 spots. Okay, and then I want to rework this a little bit. I want to make this a long tail version. This was also something that some people wished for in the comments. So let's do that. Let's hope we don't destroy everything. Real length is definitely up there. I remember that one, yeah. Let's make it a little longer. There were actually rules how much overhang you could have. So you couldn't make it too long. So let me just do it like this. That's long enough. Then I want to bring it down a little bit. Then I have to rearrange the fixtures, but overall with the shape I'm pretty happy. We will redo the exhaust because we will have a proper V12 and dual exhaust. So for now I'll already mirror it. I want to integrate it there into the tail section. There we go. And it will hook up at some point when we have the new engine in there, but I also have to paint the exhaust. That's it for now, and let's head to the engine. So we will clone a variant and we will clone the new engine from the Nuvia, V12 Turbo, 500 horsepower. And again, we need to calculate, of course, how much power we are able to make so that we fulfill the rules of Group C. So this was a fuel consumption formula, and basically we need to take a look at our estimated engine efficiency, our estimated average power and average full throttle time, basically during a 1,000-kilometer race, and then can estimate how much power we can make. So the rule was to not use more than 600 liters for a 1,000-kilometer race. That means the fuel consumption needs to be lower than 60 liters for 100 kilometers. So real Group C cars had, I think, more than 800 horsepower. Oh no, they didn't have 800 horsepower, they more had around 650 horsepower. The Porsche 962 had 680. So that will be our guidance. I'm already looking forward to how we can drive it. Also, some mentioned the F-gas that I used previously. Of course, that's a problem when trying to sell it, because we have the leaded fuel ban in place in many countries. Still, I don't think we would have been able to sell something. For this one, we will now go to 100 RON, which is also not yet available in any country, but will become. So maybe we can sell 1 or 2 customer race cars. If not, it's not a problem. This is just for fun. 680 horsepower endurance racer. Let's see what we can do here. I'm slightly confused because it already didn't have a catalytic converter. But the Nuvia had one, right? I'm not sure anymore, but it needs to have one. For now, we will stick to the full 4 liter because the engine will hold up. The Porsche had max power at 8,200, so our safe RPM here at 86 is definitely good. We just need to make sure that we get more power out of it. We will stick to the twin turbo. We will not do huge engineering changes now. We will up the boost. Then I'm trying to move the area here for the turbo so that the curve is side. And then we're already at 666 horsepower, so we're bang on. We still have some compression to spare. That's looking alright. A quick tune. And we're at 680 horsepower, 685 even. A bit stiffer springs there to make our usable area a bit wider. And then that's looking pretty juicy, I'd say. Without changing a lot of things. Not even running throttle per cylinder. Oh, this is super nice. Very flat curve there if you use the race intake. I think I will use it. It will sound better. And we have such a wide power band there. Okay, let's check if this would work. I even have a muffler on there. One muffler I think is fine for this race car. And let's see, efficiency. And we're running here on average at full throttle. I'd say again about 24%. Our average power is, I'd say, 660 horsepower, which is 485 kilowatts. And again, I take the same numbers: average speed 180 kilometers an hour, 60% full throttle, race duration 5.6 hours, 3.3 hours at full throttle, and then we need an energy of 6,736 kilowatt hours, which is 586 liters of fuel, which is lower than 600. 600 is what we are allowed to use. So this engine is legit and we can make the distance. I will not extract more power now, this will be hell to drive anyway. I'll just add it into the car now and see how the exhausts hook up. Almost alright. I think I cannot avoid the crossing of the pipes there. This is already what I played around and I don't want to do a custom pipe this time. So overall, I think this is pretty good. And I'm just checking we can extract a little bit more. So for the wheels, I can do wider wheels. Should give us a bit more grip. And maybe also on the front, I already have 300s, 305. And we will switch them out to slicks anyway later in the sandbox. Other than that, won't do anything. Yeah, standard 70 safety, it's good enough. We have no safety. It won't sell. It's failing all the safety standards. This is still our standard space frame. No carbon fiber monocoque. Yeah, the only thing I want to do is give it a proper long tail wing. This one is not good enough. Oh, there were multiple of those because we need downforce. So you can always copy your wings and lips to get more downforce. And then I will add a custom wing. There's no proper wings available. So 3D mode it is. Right, there we go. That's basically it. Should the long tail be longer? Maybe. I think it's not long enough. Oh, now I've wasted all the effort. But I think the rear must be longer. And I want to have additional cooling, of course, because we now have much more powerful engine in there. No other changes, same livery, rest stays the same. Nice long tail. Alright. Let's check our engineering. So for the car, it doesn't make any difference. So we just want to be cheap. We want to learn. Then it takes us 5 million and it will be done in no time. We can say it should be a bit more reliable. Can spend a bit more money. Some reliability. This won't matter because the engine is what will take longer. The engine was 60 months. Now it is 61 or 62. And we still want to get it down to at least to 60. 60 would be 5 years, and that would be May of 1990. We should be ready a few months earlier to get into the racing season, I guess. So we need to make it a bit more unreliable again. Let's say available in February, maybe. So that would be 57 months. And what's important is that we don't place the Group C engine into our regular factory. The upper two engines are for the Boreale. The 500 horsepower engine is for the Nuvia. And we will get our V12 engine into our racing contract, where we don't use it anymore. So we can place that one there. I also have discussed a bit, we might go into Formula 1, and this engine would be quite a nice base for that, to go into the 3.5 liter naturally aspirated formula of the early 90s. So it started in 1989, it would be perfect timing now to start with that. But unfortunately, there is no car body available for early 90s Formula 1. The one that is releasing in 1990 is looking like the Formula 1 car from the noughties or late 90s, and it doesn't make any sense. And I definitely will not build a car in 3D. So no Formula 1, but I think Group C is fine, and we will rather focus on our GT efforts in the future. It's a bit of a shame because this era of Formula 1 was still running at around 12,000 RPM. And that's exactly the limit that we have in automation, so it would have been nice to build something for that. But I can live with it if we only go for this. We have our racing shed open for a new project, so let's go in there. No minimum shifts, of course. A symbolic price of 100k. Nobody will care. And that would be our project. One last thing I need to do is to go back into the Nuvia, because somebody mentioned a huge mistake that I made, and I don't know where this came from. And basically what happened is, here in the body quality I ended up at -7, and I don't know why. I must have scrolled through the list and by accident hit the slider here with the mouse wheel. But now it should be better. Overall we have more prestige, definitely, and even we also do have more top speed. So definitely less air resistance, better panel seams and everything. It's much more refined now. Good thing that we didn't sign it off last time. We have to do the same for the Spider. Here it was even at -8. Alright, and then we also want to align it, of course, with the engine engineering time. So we need to save about 3 months. And let's just pressure them a little bit more. Not too much, I'd rather give them more money. 57, there we are. The rest should still fit pretty well. just need to adjust the pricing. I think we have been originally at 90k and 100k. I think that was the plan. Don't want to make it too expensive. All right, now we're done. Question is now just, what about our budget? So now we have an overall cost of 224 million. So definitely this went up by, I don't know, 40, 50 million. The Group C car is pretty cheap, but the additional trim variant there for the V12 definitely cost us. And I need to check what we can afford. Right now we make a plus of 3 million. It may even be a bit more in the future when the new facelift of the Freccia releases. But let's calculate with 3 million. That would be 36 million per year. And in 5 years it would be 180 million. Plus we have 42 million. That would be 224 million. And I think that's exactly what this project costs, right? That's actually pretty nice, yeah. Yeah, so the overall sum is basically the amount of money that we have plus what we will earn, or what I think we will earn until then. But I am not risking it, and I rather take another 30% loan we repaid in 5 years. 75 million as a loan as a backup, and we will repay 10 million more. That's totally fine. Alright, I did it, I signed it off. And that's roughly what I wanted to achieve today. But of course we need to bridge a little bit of time, and I'd say our next milestone will be the release of the Freccia and to really evaluate our financial situation. But first, we get held up with higher refresh costs. So the small factory for the Freccia basically has higher refresh costs, 674k, okay, and the engine factory for that as well, and this is 3.6 million. Oh god. Could accept the shortfall and produce bad quality cars, but we decided to not do that. Alright, there we go. We had this big spike now in the factory upgrade costs. Freccia Mark III is there. And let's see how we are doing after that. And we are doing really well, so I don't think we would have needed the loan. Let's check what's going on. So the Cuneo of course still has to sell. We do have a lot of stock already and are accumulating it. Let's say we turn down our production for the Cuneo a bit, just to be safe. So maximum of half a shift. We still are selling 5 Futurismos per month. Slowly getting rid of our 400 cars. And we still have many old Freccias. And a lot of people want to have the Freccia. We have such huge penalties there for the delivery delay because of all of the pre-orders. I will increase it now to 2.5 shifts. People want it, people shall have it. For the Boreale everything is fine. Okay, so now what do? We definitely should maybe upgrade our research. Currently we are basically spending 10% of our budget, of our expenses on research, and I would like to increase that at least to 20%. So 4 million is the target for research. And also for marketing we should spend a little more. So maybe let's increase to about 3 million into marketing to fund our racing projects basically. And then we can get rid of a bit of money that we are currently making. So for research, what do we want to have? IC heads would be nice. Carbon fiber panels at some point. 6 gears would of course be nice. Aerodynamic stuff, and we don't invest anything into aero. That would be really good. I'm not so much into active suspension, that doesn't feel like Cisalpina. And all of the driver assists. The driver assists are important because they will take more and more engineering time. Yeah, so they're becoming increasingly more complex, and I think it makes sense to invest something here. So I go immediately for at least 3 points. For safety, we don't invest there. I think that doesn't make a lot of sense. And aero, I said definitely aero, so 3 points there. And yeah, 1 more in drivetrain. And then let's go a little bit for the engine stuff as well. 1 more in fuel system, and then we're at 4 million. So big upgrade in our research activities, and it's very expensive even at these low levels. And while we're here, let's take a look at car bodies. So the next one would be a new Freccia. These would probably look very Japanese again. There's some pocket mid-engined stuff, Lamborghini-like, but that's only 95. Still from our tech level 7 years away, quite a bit. Yeah, I will find something. There's plenty of coupes available that we can use. Also these Roadster looking like, yeah, the MX-5 looking like ones. We will find something there. Okay, and then we want to increase our marketing to 3 million, we said. We didn't upgrade it a lot in the past. And we also never sold anything in Achana, I guess. Let's check. Oh, no, Farina was still on, but we are selling to Achana without even paying a little bit of attention to the marketing there. That's really nice. For the Lua, we have really good coverage. Take a look at GT Premium. Almost have half of the market there. Well, of our awareness. So still, if we raise our awareness, there's so much more potential there. Yeah, in Fruinia, we are still a very small company. That's the way it is. We are selling a few cars to Etvisia now. Yeah, there's so much more potential. I think I mean, we have very high prices, and if we would have more production, then we could sell much more. We are even selling a utility car. We are selling an SUV. What's that? I need to check that out. Utility Sport Premium. That's our SUV, the Boreale. That's, yeah, for sure. But I like it that we have convinced a few of SUV customers to buy a proper car. And we also had a family car buyer. Let's see what they want. Probably also a Boreale. Not Family Sport. Oh, Family Sport rather buys a Freccia. Family Sport Premium goes into Boreale and Freccia. And even Futurismo is still. Okay, nice sales overview. And now let's let it run for a little bit longer. Let's see if there are any more hurdles along the way. The Freccia Mark III is pretty new, so I'd say let's go to about 1988 or mid 1987 and then see where we are standing. Oh god, our money is becoming more and more as we hire more people for the Freccia factory, I guess. Oh, we cannot keep up with production. But at least the Gingales are sold, and now they can work on the other ones. Barely. We can barely work on our pre-orders there. For the Cuneo, the stock has stabilized. It's very good. And we still sell a few Turismos. And we are not selling anymore our Group 5 cars. But that's alright. Oh, what do we do with all of our money? I'd say let's go for more research. Let's bump it up to 6 million. Just by investing here and there. 6.6 million. We invest everywhere now. I know it's not the most efficient way because here when you go wide you pay a lot of lab costs. If you go deep and high On single values you have less lab costs and more research costs, actual research that you're doing, but I don't mind this time. The small factory is still understaffed, and we also have, now for the very first time, we had emissions fees, and now the message disappeared. Yeah, here we have some fees. I think that's the one where we said let's take a look at how much it really costs us. But you can see that this cost of the Cuneo is 16,000 are definitely offset by the Freccia. The Freccia, Bellinetta and Targa get us 44 and 62k per month on emissions bonus because they are so green. Also, let's take a look at our score. We're currently earning 2,000 points per month. So I guess 1 million is still on the table without even min-maxing for the score. So now our sales are slowly stabilizing and returning to normal levels, as we have sold all of the high margin cars, basically. And also here for the Bellinetta, it has stabilized now that the pre-order penalty is 50%. Things are looking very nice, and we are selling the first pre-orders for the Nuvia. Spider is the more desirable one. Did I actually... I didn't even upgrade my marketing. I just took a look and didn't do anything. No wonder I didn't spend any money. So let's upgrade our marketing. And now we should see an impact on our expenses. Yes, back to about 1 million of profit. Freccia is selling like hotcake and we could sell so much more. But still, it is time to think about the successor, and this will be done in next episode. For now, let's take our new OTC, or it's actually called C40. Let's take our real Group C car, the C40 with the 680 horsepower V12 Turbo. Let's take this one to the track and hope I don't die. Alright, there we are. Very nice. I had to change a few things, as always. Slicks, proper sandbox slicks are on there, soft slicks. Then I removed the muffler, and still it is way too quiet, because it's a turbocharged engine. So no mufflers on there, which also means that the pipes are a lot nicer now. And I forgot to change the gearing. So the gearing was set up for a top speed of 270, and now I have set it up for a theoretical top speed of 330, actual top speed of 320. So that should make us a bit faster on the straights. But yeah, I still hope that we will survive until we reach the straight. Let's see how it goes. Wheel spin was okay in the straight line, but in the corners you have to be really careful on the throttle. Short shifting already here. It's so easy to rotate it on throttle. Folate it positively. Almost in time here. It's way too strong. I don't think we were any faster than the junior car through the first sector, but now this is where we shine. Already quicker than it was. I think we popped out at 270, the junior car, and we reached 300 through the slingshot here. Very nice there, Bavarian band. Almost forgot to brake. This car is a bit quicker, so we have to be very careful there. Now something's scraping. I broke it. Yeah, what I wanted to say is we have to be careful there, braking for the chicane, because we are so much quicker. So immediately I crashed when I started talking. Lesson learned, I hope. The record, I think, was at 157 for the junior car. Running into a limiter there. Upshift could have been better. Bit too quick in there. Very stable, high speeds. Definitely not flat this corner. Running a bit wide, but it's alright. Overshot here again, but I think we're still on target. Yeah, so much quicker. Oof. And I'd rather take the gravel bed because I was way too quick. Should have started to brake already at the start finish straight. But yeah, really quick. I think there's 2 or 3 more seconds in there, but I think that's good enough for now. The last 2 corners weren't as good. The rest was properly quick, and I'm super happy that we were able to beat the Group C Junior. I wouldn't have thought it would be that by that far, because the automation test track is very, very tight, and we could only play out the advantage really on one big straight. But yeah, we saw it earlier, we have a very wide power band here, so we really used the regulations also to our advantage to have quite economical engine, but very drivable and a lot of power. So yeah, a lot of fun, and can't wait until I share that with you. And I will do so at around 10k subscribers. So if you're not subscribed and want to drive it, that's your chance to speed it up. So yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for all the comments and all the support you give me, and see you all again very soon. Bye bye.